Yes, guys, welcome to my financial literacy YouTube channel. My name is Desmond Bredu. Today, I'm talking about bonds. Now, before I zoom into bonds, if you're new here, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss anything that I post on this channel. Don't go anywhere. Now, bonds are simply long-dated instruments, all right, that are issued by either a government or a corporate body. So that's why we have government bonds and we have corporate bonds as well. Now, bonds have maturities of above 1 year. So it could be a 2-year bond, a 3-year bond, or even a 10-year bond. There are bonds that are 10 years that are existent. Now, the good thing about bonds is it pays you interest on a semi-annual basis. That is every 6 months. Now, the interest that is being paid is referred to as coupons. So these coupons are just interest that you get every 6 months. Now, there are basically two types of coupon payment. It could either be a fixed coupon payment or a flexible coupon payment. So as the name suggests, fixed means you know exactly how much you're earning every 6 months. So if it's 100 cedis that you're earning every 6 months, for the life of the bond, whether it's for the 3-year period or 5-year period, every 6 months you're getting 100 cedis. If it is flexible, it means that they have a benchmark, usually the treasury bill rate, and they add a margin on it. So for example, this month you can have, or this is first 6 months, you can have, let's say 100 cedis. The next 6 months, if interest rates go up, you can get, say, 110 cedis. If interest rates go down, you can even get 90 cedis. That is why it's called flexible. So they have a benchmark and they usually add a margin to it. Now, how are these coupon payments calculated? So every bond has what we call the coupon rate or the interest rate. Let's, for this example, use the fixed rate. So if, for example, you bought a 3-year bond and the coupon payment is, or the coupon rate is 10%, and you bought 1,000 cedis worth of the bond, what happens is every year the bank is, or the government is supposed to pay you 10% of the 1,000 cedis, which is supposed to be 100 cedis. But because they pay you every 6 months, what will happen is every 6 months they divide 100 cedis by 2 and pay you 50 cedis. So from the day you purchase to the end of the period, if for example you bought it today and it's due the next 3 years, from every 6 months from today they'll be paying you 50 Ghana cedis till the end of the bond. And when the bond matures, they will pay you your 1,000 cedis back. So that's how bonds work. You get regular coupon payments, usually every 6 months. Then at the end of the period, you get your amount invested, whether it's the face value back. So in this case, the 1,000 cedis back. Let me just point out something briefly on the fixed and the flexible coupon payment. So what happens with the fixed coupon payment is, regardless of what interest rates are, you are getting the same return. So you are guarded if interest rate goes down. So for example, you bought a 5-year bond at 20% maybe 3 years ago. Now TB rate around 13%. If let's say the margin is 3%, and the margin I mentioned, I talked about initially, means that you're supposed to have ideally gotten 16% if you're using the flexible one. But because you are on a fixed rate of 20%, you are getting 20% regardless. Now the downside is, if the TB rate goes to say 20% and the margin is 3%, it means that you could have gotten 23%, right? It means you're losing in that regard. One, what happens is you get matched to what the interest rates are. So you are always at par with interest rates, so you don't really lose much. But the only thing is, because if interest rate goes against you or goes down, it means that you also be losing. Because if, for example, you bought the bond at, let's say, 15%, right, or at the time the interest rate was say 15%, now in T-bill rate goes to say 10%, and the margin is 3%, it means that you now be getting 13% on your money. But the person who bought the fixed rate will be getting the same 15% throughout the life. So another thing that I should point out is, you can actually trade your bond. What do I mean by that? It means that if you bought, let's say, a 5-year bond and you've held it for, let's say, 2 years or 3 years, you don't necessarily have to hold it to the end of the period. You can actually sell off your bond, and that is also allowed. You can actually go to your bank and tell them, okay, I don't want to hold my bond anymore, I want to sell it, and you actually buy the bond from you. Realize this. Most people who are, let's say, risk averse or want to invest in treasury bills, one thing they don't know is, if, for example, a bond is, let's say, issued 3 years ago, let's say 2017, and it has, let's say, 3 months to maturity, most people don't know that if you asked your bank for that bond, you're likely to get a better rate than if you bought the equivalent of the treasury bill. Most people don't know about it, but it's something that if you ask and it's available based on what the bank has, they can sell it to you. So for, let's say, a 3-year bond that has 3 months to the maturity date, you can get a better interest rate than if you bought a 3-month treasury bill. But most people don't know about it. Everybody just goes and wants to buy a treasury bill. But ask your bank if there are bonds that are available and what is the duration or what's the period to maturity, and compare that to what if you bought, let's say, a 6-month T-bill or you bought a 3-month T-bill, what the rate would have been, and make better judgment in that regard. Invest in a bond. So basically, there are 2 categories of people who should invest in bonds. 1, people who want regular income. So bonds pay you, as I mentioned, coupons or interest every 6 months. So if you want that kind of payment, then bonds are for you. The second category of people are long-term investors. And because of the duration, 2 years, 3 years, and even 10 years, people can actually buy, or long-term investors can actually buy the bond and hold it and be getting their coupons as and when it is due. So those are the 2 types of people who should invest in the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you click on the subscribe button and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss anything that I post on the channel. Don't forget to like as well, and follow me on my Twitter page at Palin77. Thank you so much for your support. See you soon.